internet here. Let's see. So I think I'm driving this thing. Okay. Nope, no donuts today.
No donuts.
Good thing there's only a few of us.
I'm going home.
We would only have to eat 4 of them.
That's right.
Maybe the word got out. Maybe Mike told people, and that's why people didn't come here.
That's right.
Maybe it's really about the donuts and not about the content.
All right. Ellen, this is your question. We'll start with you.
Okay. So I'm Ellen, I'm in Santa Rosa, and this is one thing I was just thinking about the other day is I wish the general public knew that you don't need to have access to home charging in order to be an EV owner. Because I feel like obviously that would be ideal if you could charge at home. But I really think it is possible, and I know some people who do this who charge publicly for fast charging like once a week or once every other week, and because they can't charge at home because they're renting or they have some limitation. And so I just wish people knew that it is possible to own an EV and not have access to home charging. You can make it happen. I'll call on you next, Cecilia.
Hey, got a small crowd today. Yeah. So today you went to theater in the round.
Okay. All right.
can
Okay,
watch
Cecilia, we can't hear you.
Celia, you think you're up? You're
Yeah, y'all were talking, so I didn't talk.
Oh.
I'm Cecilia. And one thing I wish the general public knew about EVs. This one's taking a little. I need to think about this one a little bit. I wish. Yeah, I think like the biggest one is like, if you have a home, you can charge there, but I think that's the thing. That's probably the thing. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna go with. Yeah, yeah. I'm I can't think. I'm not prepared for this question.
all right. How about you, Russ?
I'm Russ Wigglesworth. I'm in Petaluma. Um, I just wish everybody would calm down about EVs and recognize that they're the future and they're with us. And I won't say more. I was going to get political.
All right.
All right.
Friends, fair enough. I'm sure. Is anybody else online? I don't think so. No, that we're all right. How about
Okay,
you?
I can go. Well, I don't know that maybe it's a very simple, and all of us know this, but the general public would know that you could take a 120 volt plug it into your house anywhere and charge your car. It's like somehow people don't get it. And I just wish everybody knew that you could do that. If that's all you have, it's okay. And people do it. 120 volts.
120 volts.
You can do it.
3 miles an hour. You're good.
Yeah. That's how people used to do it when they got Leafs, the first Leafs, but everybody was just plugging into them.
Yeah, just plug it in. Yeah.
That's one thing.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I'm Sonia, and the questions from my family were, what happens to the battery when you're done with the car?
Oh, yeah.
And, is it true that like they're toxic and you can't, do anything with them afterward? And so I wish people would understand that they have 3 or 4 lives after they're in a car. And then there are recycling companies, and that the value of what's inside them is valuable enough and of quantity enough, I assume, to go recycle that. And I had read that by 2040, we might have everything we need to just kind of do like a closed loop and not mine anymore. We didn't get into, some chemistries are better than others for the environment or something like that.
Right.
So there's a lot there that's kind of still like, I'm hearing bad stuff.
It would be interesting if you go online and you listen to if you go to YouTube, they just did a great detailed tour of Redwood Recycling up in, I think it's in Reno,
Reno.
right?
Mhm.
In Sparks or Reno. And they did a great thing, and they basically said what you said, Sonia, that they're predicting that by 2035, 2040, we're gonna have enough lithium and materials outside of the dirt that we could have a continuous replenishment of these materials.
That'd be amazing.
Some of the battery recycling companies are
Yeah.
struggling because they don't have
They don't have
enough
enough vehicles.
material coming
They don't have
in,
enough vehicles.
right?
Yeah,
So they all ramped up on this
Yeah.
technology.
I think that'll still be a problem in 2040 to be
having enough,
Perfect.
having enough,
I don't
having enough, yeah.
the
They
transition
don't-
will be complete enough to have the cycle.
Yeah,
Yeah, like batteries last much longer than.
Well, people are driving a gas car 17 years.
Yeah. that's right.
Gas car. And so I think by 2040, we won't have turned them all.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I'll see.
Yeah. Welcome. So, your name?
Mark Leitner,
Mark?
and I didn't get the gist of what.
Yeah, so the
question
prompt
was.
is, what do you wish the public knew about electric vehicles?
Well, not just the public, but also EV aficionados. I hope that there's recognition that hydrogen fuel cells are a big part of the future, and that regenerative fuel cells can replace half the batteries in electric cars, to the point where you'll have your battery to work for your quick acceleration, quick start up in the morning, get you going. But then you'll be able to replace the battery with a hydrogen fuel cell, which will generate electricity for you. But it doesn't have a quick ramp up or quick ramp down. And then once you park and you plug in, it'll regenerate the water, by running it backwards, it generates the water back again. And so essentially you can you can't just run on pure fuel cells because they don't have a quick turn on, quick turn off that the battery does.
Okay.
But as an addition, replacing half or 3/4 of your batteries with a hydrogen fuel cell, you can get all the benefits of an electric battery without all the chemicals and all the rare earths, and all that type of stuff. And you can get the quick refill if you need to. If you're in a spot where you need to stop somewhere and plug some hydrogen in, you can, which you can't get with a quick charge. You can get a 2-minute refill instead of a 20-minute refill.
So Mark,
I
this
think
wasn't
it's-
supposed to be a controversial meeting? So the biggest challenge that we've always, I did a presentation on hydrogen economy last summer. And what I found was getting the hydrogen. There's no green way to get the hydrogen that doesn't just waste all of the renewable sources that we have to create hydrogen in the first place.
Well, the regenerative fuel cell will actually just runs the hydrogen fuel cell back.
So it's a closed.
You treat it as a closed system.
It's a
It
closed
takes a
loop
lot of
system.
energy to create hydrogen.
But he's talking about it's closed
you-
loop, so it goes from
Solar
water.
energy,
It
just
goes
like
from
you plug-
water
You
to.
plug in your car to your solar cells,
Yeah.
whether
It's
it
a closed system,
whether
you
it
treat it,
puts
you think of it just like the battery, right?
whether it puts a lithium
You don't
ion
even know.
onto a chunk of metal in your
Yeah.
battery, or whether it or whether it puts
Yeah, right.
a hydrogen ion into your water. It's the
Yeah,
same amount of
yeah,
energy to
If
do it.
it's a
Same amount of
closed
storage.
system, yeah. I mean,
Closed system, yeah.
Who cares if it's lithium or hydrogen based inside,
Yeah,
right? As
yeah.
long as you're not,
Yeah.
if there's no
Do we know?
input,
Yeah.
to the
do we
vehicle
know
other
of
than
any
electricity.
examples yet?
Yeah, that's
who's
interesting.
got it?
There are companies working on it. I don't know if anything is commercially available.
okay.
yet.
Yeah,
All right,
okay.
well.
You guys are all familiar with Plug, the company Plug, right?
Yeah, it's a truck.
No, they specialize in replacing electric batteries in forklifts with hydrogen fuel cells. And they've got big contracts with like UPS and FedEx and Walmart and all those people.
Okay.
They don't make the fuel cells themselves. There's another company they get the fuel cells from, and I don't remember the name of that company.
Interesting.
But they've been struggling. They were, a darling stock 10 years ago. They went from $1 to $6, $7. Now they're still about $1 again.
Mark, I'm gonna ask you if you could come back and do a little short.
I'm not
primer
an
on
expert
some-
on it. I'm just
some of this
a
stuff.
fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of hydrogen.
Yeah,
Do some digging.
none of us are experts at anything.
And I always thought that,
Well, actually, I am in some things, but none of them relevant here.
yeah, so when Tesla came along and came out with, the lithium batteries and all that stuff, it sort of felt like a placeholder step until the fuel cells are ready, maybe
Yeah.
it's another decade or 2 decades away before those are ready to go. but you'll be able to take the same electric motor, the same
Yeah.
regenerative braking, all those things will still work. It's just that, you know, some of your batteries will be replaced with a lighter weight, self-regenerating fuel cell. And there's also a bunch of technology in the hydrogen storage as well. That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas if you think of a
Well, if they could get it cheap enough, it works for fixed position or
Yeah.
in a car, but
Yeah.
it's not cheap enough yet, so we don't have it.
yeah.
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 Interesting.
Well, yeah. So the hydrogen cassettes are kind of the future of storage. You know, which they actually you fill it with a I can't remember it's like a volcanic rock kind of material.
H2S.
It
Smells like rotten eggs.
metal lattice.
It's something 05. I can't remember the name of it right now. But and you cool that down, and you can get about 1,000 times as much hydrogen into the tank as you would if it was just an empty tank. You know, because it adsorbs into the rock to where it's not colliding with other hydrogen cells.
Yeah.
It essentially
Yeah,
becomes zero pressure.
it's not a pressure-based thing.
Yeah,
right?
no longer pressure,
It
exactly.
binds in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some material on that, which is really interesting.
Yeah, they were developing those cassettes out here at the old HP site out there, which is now Red Village. And a buddy of mine was working on it a decade ago.
Mhm.
And I don't know if they ever got it working, but I've seen just articles lately that someone's got it working. Not the guys here in town, but someone else has got it working now. So I think it's the future.
All right. I'd love to hear more.
Yeah, anyway.
Want to believe.
Don't bring a presentation.
Yeah, presentation next time, Mark.
Yeah, Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's good.
I won't
Good
be here
stuff.
next time.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
3 meetings from there. Plan ahead.
Couple, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, my name is Bernie Dolan, and I don't have much to say except that I'm really considering a new car, and
Go Bernie.
I would have to say everything I've heard is just contrary to
Yeah.
what my predecessor has said.
My predecessor.
So, you know, I'm leery.
Well, I'm hopeful is what I am. I'm not saying it's a done deal or
Yeah,
anything.
right.
I'm just saying that's what I wish.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be in the car you buy soon.
No.
Mhm.
But
I guess the only thing I would caution to make because the prompt was, what do we wish the public knew, is
I consider you guys the public.
fair. Well, and we are, right? And we are. But with that said, so the construct that we think about is that the electric battery vehicle infrastructures and technologies are available now.
Yeah.
They don't depend on new research, new fundamental physics, you know, none of that stuff today, right? And I think the challenge that we collectively face is just how fast can we get this carbon out of the damn sky? And it's, you know, and if we let people think that there's some future, that means that all the hydrocarbon filling stations get replaced by hydrogen filling stations, and that's 10 years from now, then the concern is that people won't change their current behavior fast enough to address, you know, I'm not saying there's no way that you can tie a specific weather event to climate change. It's impossible. Like this one was caused by it, and that wasn't. You know, you can't do it. But I think that's the only pushback you're going to get from the audience. But I mean, we'd love to hear anything. I mean, I don't think we.
Yeah, I think all the investment in the motors and the efficiency and in our chargers, and the regenerative, all that investment is not going to be wasted.
It's not wasted. Yeah,
because if you generate it's not a question of how you generate the electricity; it's how you store it and transport it.
Yeah, right.
And it's just a question of, you know, is a lithium battery better than a carbon battery, better than a lead battery, better than a hydrogen battery? You know, it's just a different battery.
Yeah, right.
It is in my mind. And it's just, and I think it's a cleaner thing. And plus it's a lot easier to localize it because you can do it at home. You just plug into your wall.
Yeah, right.
And you make hydrogen
Right.
from your solar cells. You don't have to go to a filling station.
Right.
Yeah, but you do all have electricity.
You can.
Yeah.
It is
I like
electricity. It's still electricity.
But
All right, I'm gonna
You still make the same electricity.
I'm gonna cut it off there,
Yeah.
and
It's still
we'll revisit this. This
Same
is pretty
electricity.
interesting.
when he does his presentation.
Yeah, when you do your presentation, we'll revisit this. I love it. Henry, how about you?
I'm Henry Tashinsky. I had several, but I'll keep it to one. I wish the public here was more aware of just how fast things are changing outside the US.
Oh,
How fast
God.
China is ramping up is just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Right? You know, the fact that Norway effectively is 100%
Yeah.
EV sales.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Other countries are moving.
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere is
Yeah.
way ahead of the US.
Watch an interview with Mark Farley, the chairman of the president of Ford. He drives.
Oh, yeah.
He drives a Seal.
Yeah.
That's his daily drive.
Yeah.
It's a Seal.
A BYD seal.
A BYD Seal,
Yeah.
and it freaks him
Yeah.
out every day.
And that's the thing. I mean,
they're a third the price of his cars, and they have, they've got the super deluxe premium upgrade package for 20 grand. Driving.
They just it was BYD, I think, just about their, I forget what they're calling it, but they're self-parking. But it's not just, pulls in the parking spot. It's the car drives away and parks.
Right.
They've rolled it out to their entire customer fleet as a software update. Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not, and this is not a
It's like,
premium.
go
This
find
is
a
included
spot.
by
It goes
default
to
in the
find
car,
the spot.
right?
It goes finds a
It
spot.
finds its,
Yeah.
right?
And
I
it
haven't
has-
seen videos yet. Yeah.
That's why we have 100% tariff on it.
Well, exactly, because
That's right.
if we
That's
did,
right.
our auto industry would
It
disappear,
would disappear.
right?
That's what
These cars
Farley
are
is
so much cheaper.
That's what
right?
Farley's freaked out
Yeah,
about. Is
yeah.
that they know that they can't build, premium ultra luxury cars that we sell for 85 grand here. In China, those cars are 20.
Yeah.
Top of the markets.
Now, yeah, granted, like the BYDs, when they export them, right, because of homologation and then the safety standards and all that, those $20,000 cars in China are 35 or 40,000 in other countries.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
they wouldn't be 20 here, they might be 35, 40, 50,
That's
but they're
right.
still not 85, 90.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
the delta is huge, right?
Yeah, I left off one of the there's a BYD pickup truck that I did not include because you can't get it in the U.S. Although you can get it in the U.S. if you buy it in Mexico
And drive it up.
and drive it across yourself. But it's a BYD pickup
But
truck that
I don't
is-
think you can register it here. My understanding was
Is it the safety?
you can drive it up, but there's like a 1 month
But
limit,
maybe-
right? It's basically
It needs to
visiting.
be it needs a tourist visa or something.
That's right.
Well,
Maybe.
I won't throw in the political comment there, but
Maybe South Dakota, but you can register your car if you're there 1 day a year.
yeah, okay,
You
yeah,
can have a number and say you built it yourself.
They built it yourself. That's right. That's right.
but more to your
Yeah.
comment, my 2018 Tesla Model 3 is enjoying an extended stay at the Tesla Collision Center, San Rafael.
Oh no.
Got hit.
I got run over at a stop sign.
Oh.
Guy just turned in front of me and drove over my fender.
Oh.
San Rafael at the collision center.
I was in Petaluma.
Oh, at the time, and you were like,
That's right. I live in Petaluma, and I called Tesla San Rafael or Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
Right, while I'm waiting for the tow truck, and they're like, "Oh, we got GNC is certified, and somebody in Roanoke Park certified." And I'm like, "Well, I'm down in Petaluma," and he's like, "Oh, you got to go that way.
Yeah.
Go to the new." And it's only been open a couple months. It's where their service center was. They converted to now their collision center.
I just got my car fixed. Some 18-wheeler decided he wanted my spot on the freeway,
Yeah,
and he took it.
Yeah.
He took it.
yeah. So
Wow.
so anyway, I was already thinking, time this. It's an 18. It's got plenty of miles. It's
Yeah.
it's starting to show some issues anyway.
Years old, yeah.
And I've always struggled with it not having enough cargo space, right?
Yeah, what do you
Being
think
a
you're gonna do?
so, well, I was already thinking of time to shop around.
Now's the time.
Maybe
Now's
like
the
fine.
You won't get the tax break, I don't think. if you
How
do
about a
it.
slate?
Lease, probably lease.
Well,
Right. So,
September
but
30th.
yeah, I'm taking opinions on
Yeah.
other
Well, I'm
vehicles.
looking at Musk myself. As much as I don't like Musk,
Well,
I still think Tesla makes the best car.
unfortunately, yes, they do. But I do tech consulting and I work in embedded systems. And
Yeah.
I've worked on car telematics, and ignoring the political side, I actually have serious concerns about their company culture and software development. And I just worry someday they'll push out a software update and half the cars just won't run.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're starting.
Oh, I
you're
wouldn't.
starting.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So,
Because,
you want to stay away from a software.
No. I just want one that has good development processes and good management structure that won't, on the fly say, I need this update to go out tomorrow without any testing and oops. Because I've worked at companies where that went out and, one brand of cell phones lost all their Wi-Fi access in Japan until we fixed that bug.
Yeah.
Because one manager said it has to go out in 15 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Well, it did.
I hope that manager's not there anymore.
So Don, we're waiting for.
All right, so the one thing that I wish that John Q. Public knew was just how fun the cars are.
Oh,
Just how fun. And you can always tell a new EV driver. Because I guarantee you, you pull up to the light next to them and they just got the car. You can tell from the paper plates. And they punch it and they're gone. I mean, they're gone.
Well, I've had my car 7 years and I guess I qualify.
I mean, people just forget the car makes you 18 again or 16 again. I was like, holy crap, this thing goes. So that's what I wish everybody knew. All right, let's switch over to whatever's next. Whatever's next.
my first EV test drive was a Nissan Leaf when it was launched inside Moscone Center.
Oh, fun.
Doing 15 miles an hour
Hey,
in the
Lawrence.
building.
Hey, Lawrence.
Hello.
So the prompt
Can you hear me
is-
okay?
Yeah, Lawrence, if you could turn off your screen, that'd be great. It's quite distracting with you walking there.
Oh, it's,
Perfect. So the prompt is, what do you wish that John Q. Public knew about electric vehicles? And then we're gonna got about a minute there. We're gonna cut over.
right. Well, what I wish everybody knew is that with off-the-shelf technology and plugging in just
Uh-oh. Got some audio challenges. Yeah. Yeah, we lost you.
today, hey, we could
The perfect cat. Yeah, we lost you, Lawrence.
electric grid.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. All right, I'm gonna
I know.
not sure what's causing your audio issue, Lawrence, but we're gonna switch over to the slides. We're gonna figure out how to do that. Speaker, share, intros, share.
The slide's already shared. You just need to
Ah.
advance.
We don't see it here.
I don't see it here. What do I gotta do?
You-
Something.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, where did I drop off?
My name is Lawrence.
My name is Lawrence. That's where I dropped off.
You dropped off. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing I would like is my signal reasonable now? Is everything okay? You can hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Okay, the thing I'd want everybody to know is that with off-the-shelf technology and just 10% of our EVs plugged in between 4 and 9 p.m. every day, California could get fossil fuels off its electric utility grid. And the only thing that's preventing it is the utilities, the CPUC, and of course the governor who's appointed the CPUC guys. It's super simple. People are doing it as guerrilla tactics, where you convince a car it's hooked up to a DC fast charger. It presents its battery voltage at its terminals on the side of the car. You plug that into a off-the-shelf string solar inverter, rooftop solar inverter that takes 300 to 600 volts. And you pump out onto the grid whatever the maximum capacity of that inverter is. So I know some guy who has got an older Tesla that doesn't talk CCS. So he uses a SwanCon protocol, make it think it's hooked up to a supercharger, and he pushes 7 kilowatts onto the grid. And the only thing that's proprietary, of course, is the SwanCon protocol. The only thing that's not off the shelf is probably the Arduino board that he uses to communicate with the Tesla to make it think it's hooked up to a supercharger. And so already we have virtual power plants like the Tesla Powerwall virtual power plant that sells battery power on the 5 and 15-minute spot market at a pretty good profit for the customers, to various, to the grid basically. And so the same way we could have a virtual power plant that sells your EV power to the grid. So you charge up on cheap and available solar during the day, and then put it back on the grid between 4 and 9 p.m., displacing gas peaker plants. And then with a little bit more wind and solar generation, we could also get rid of nuclear power and overnight fossil plants. just having our vehicles plugged in and again charging during the day and then discharging overnight. So that's what I would love everyone to know and to lobby their governor, their CPUC, to allow that to happen, because the technology, we have the technology, but it's not happening because it's not part of the profit structure for the utilities.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I think this, Brad, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. Let's see, this is a standard slide. This month we're gonna have 4 club emails going out, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But if you're looking for us, NBEAA.org. If you log online, that's how you got to the meeting. And we have a Facebook group, and Facebook.com/groups NBEAA. See what else we've got here. So all the meetings are recorded. If you were here at 9:59, you heard still free to click that in. I don't know if anybody's ever gone back through. I know I do get some feedback periodically. People have gone back through and listened to things again. So careful what you say. The internet's forever. Right. Let's see. 3 ways to communicate. One is through club, and that's what we say in Texas. That's all y'all. I think there's 140 club members plus or minus.
Wow.
And so we send out emails, 3 to 4 emails a month from that. And then there's an opt-in group. So if you want to participate, you need to opt in and discuss. And it'd be a great opportunity for you to put up something on that hydrogen concept, or Lawrence, what you just talked about on vehicle to grid. That'd be perfect. And then if you do want to submit an article to the chapter membership, you can send it to news@nbaa.org, and we do get content that we share here from that email link there. All right, so there's 2 things coming up. We want to host a August picnic. We've had it for a couple of years. They're usually a lot of fun. We've tried both times to have an online version as well. I'm opting that we don't attempt that. It just makes it what's better? Awkward or weird?
Well, yeah, Dom eats his.
Yeah, that's right. It's right. It's like celebrating. I don't know. It's like having an online New Year's Eve party or something. I just don't see that being fun. So,
agreed.
You're saying there's no way for us to share the food through Zoom?
That's right.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Future technology.
Let's see. We got a few of the senses, right? We got sound and vision, but that's 2.
I do propose that if I can make it there, I'd like to do some like videos, maybe like some little interviews for posterity.
That's
Short
awesome.
stuff would be great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think some of the topics make it more of a car-centered thing. Might be a good time to talk about our individual cars. So find a place that we can have a parking lot and have some food. You'd mentioned maybe doing it at the Katati place. I'm thinking Regal might be another place. They have that. They've got that portable solar thing that John and Ellen talked about a few months ago. We could go look at that. So.
Yep. So in Katati,
That's in Sebastopol.
Yeah, in Sebastopol.
in Katati, it would be like around the octagon. There's some nice shady parking kind of along the side edge there.
Yeah.
And then across the street are Tesla superchargers that are now operational.
Where?
Right at the fire department.
Really?
Are they
Yeah.
black and
I
white?
remember seeing posting about
They're red and
this
white.
going in.
Are they?
Why did you ask that? Are there some of them?
Well, black and white are the new ones that they're putting out that have the long cord cables.
V4s, yeah.
And you can charge anything with them.
They went up pretty quick, and they're kind of circa the Sebastopol chargers as well. So I think they were red and white when I saw them.
You mean the side tombstones, not the end of the tombstones?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good place to do it.
Yeah. So you would be across the busy street from the superchargers by being at the park. But
So
most of
you're
us
park
don't
at the
have
supercharger spot while you had your picnic.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I wonder if we need to reserve, do we need to reserve that, or we just didn't crash it on mass? Probably.
We probably just need to check that the accordion festival's not going on or something.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
Because otherwise, I think it'd be super quiet.
Yeah, we all just show up, right?
No parking lot though, right? It's street parking.
No, and it
Street
is,
parking,
it's, if I recall, it's like pull-in street parking, so there's like 20 spots,
Oh.
and there will be
Yeah, okay.
maybe 6 cars in those 20 spots, and so we'd all be parking in between other people
Yeah, okay.
if we wanted it to be that casual, and it would probably be similar to Regal that way.
Yeah, right.
So for Regal, you would just need to pay to get in if you wanted your car to be
Yeah, that's right.
along
Yeah,
Yeah,
parking's
that's
not
right.
good.
Yeah,
parking space.
Right.
and Regal
also
gets busy on
the soccer
Saturdays.
going.
Yeah, Regal gets
Busy,
busy
yeah.
on Saturdays.
That even sounds
The
interesting.
Kentucky sounds interesting. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
I've never been down there.
Did Zeno's not want another picnic at his house?
You know, I don't know. Bernie had it last year.
Yeah. It's available again.
Available again this year? All right.
Yeah, I thought, I have no offense, Bernie, but I thought Zeno's house was really well suited for a.
Yeah,
Centrally located.
Yeah.
yeah. Who would go if we did this? Show of hands? Okay,
Yes.
most of us? Okay, you will now, but.
Depending.
All right, so we'll go ahead and, I think this time though, I want to do an Eventbrite, because last time I made so many changes to it and screwed it up. So this time we'll have an Eventbrite registration. I gotta figure out how to do that, and we'll, do an email in. All right, perfect. Let's go to the next thing. So the other one, so we've been working with Sonoma Clean Power for 4 or 5 months now, trying to get a jump on what we're gonna do for the fall. And Sonoma Clean Power is put on the table an alternate idea, or maybe it's the same idea, but earlier. So all of and I'll get to this, the bodacious big bill, in a second, but all the green incentives that have been in place since Clean Air Act are gone, basically. Right. And so they'll be expiring at the end of the month. And Sonoma Clean Power is thinking, hey, is this something that we should try to do instead of in October? After everything expires, should we get out get the word out now that you've got the potential combination of incentives right now, and maybe we do a big push before the incentives go, and then try to do everything in sometime in August as opposed to.
But it's September that they're going, right? So
It's September
end of
30th.
September.
Yeah, September 30th, yeah. September 30th.
Yeah, you're
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, we should all go buy it, our EV of our.
Yeah, go buy the Dream IV and get the combination incentives now.
Oh, boy.
So don't have any details of that yet. It's still ongoing, but if we decide to do something August, and if their timing lined up, it might be on the second Saturday. We don't know what their availability is yet.
Yeah, we might stop it for a meeting.
But does anybody have any issues with supporting that if we wanted to
Do it a little earlier.
do a little earlier?
That's good.
Yeah. I think it'd be-
Yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea, and I'm pretty sure John and I can bring our trucker support in some way, so I'm happy to support with that.
All right, so I'll go back to Brant and say, hey, we can support with something. I'm not sure. I don't know any of the details at all right now, Bernie,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
In reading that email from Brant, it sounded like when he brought it to the greater group, they were interested in also trying to do the October thing, either as the big shut down the street version, or as a don't shut down the street, but just have about 5 cars along just their side of the street.
Right.
And I thought either would be good.
Yeah.
You know, we're all flexible and just.
Yeah, what about
support it.
the downtown center option? Do we not have that? Is it
For
too
some
hard?
reason, Brant didn't want to do that. I guess they want a little bit of flow into the building, or.
Because in my opinion, the street is just not as good as having the downtown center,
You mean where we were last
The
year?
courthouse.
the courthouse square, yeah.
I don't know why Brant was looking into that, but they were
I
gonna
mean, it's
do the
not-
whole thing.
Yeah, it's nice to have it there in a way, but if they can really shut down the street, it's just a little hard for me to picture, but I remember the times we haven't shut down the street, it's been really crowded and hard to show cars and
Yeah, right.
more of a Sonoma Clean Power thing rather than a EV thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So I'll tell them that we're interested in whatever. We want to keep the dialogue going.
It'd be nice to have more space and exposure and ability for people to walk.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
the thing we were really clear about was we didn't want parking lot behind the building because
Yeah, that was
a
just too
little
hidden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody knew where that was. Okay. Let's keep scrolling along here. Oh my Lord, look at all those bolts.
So John
yeah.
and John and I have a few slides and topics we want to present on today. I first wanted to start with this kind of recent discovery I made in helping a friend purchase a used Chevy Bolt. I kind of called around to all the North Bay Chevy dealerships and found that most places had like between 1 and 3 used Bolts. But then, when I called up the Novato Chevy, they had like between 15 and 20 at a given time used EUVs and EV Bolts. So I just kind of wanted to share that with the group. Seems like a really great resource and a great thing for us to know about as we, share with people that might be interested in buying bolts. Um, let's see. I think, yeah, John helped me research this, but we found out just the other day, currently they have 10 Bolt EUVs and 7 Bolt EVs on their lot. And, when my friend went through this process recently, they were able to help her get the $4,000 federal used clean vehicle credit. And I recommended to her that she ask if the Bolt had the battery replaced because, there's a certain number of years that had that full battery pack replaced. So it's kind of a tip that I think we can all, recommend to people if they're looking for a Bolt. Just it's a good thing to ask, has it had the full battery pack replacement? Um, and yeah, as you all know, I think it's a great time to buy used EVs. And when I helped my friend with this purchase, I was able to drive in her Bolt. I helped her pick it up and drive back to Santa Rosa with it. And it was so fun because I have a 2017 Bolt. And so driving in a 2022 Bolt was definitely like a step up in features. It had like cooled seats, which I'd never experienced before. It had, 360 cameras around the car for parking assistance. It had all these cool little driving assistance features and a sunroof. And anyway, somehow I didn't have that in my mind that buying a 2022 Bolt would feel so fancy compared to my 2017. So anyway, it was just kind of a fun experience I wanted to share with you all in case you're not aware of it.
Ellen, you meant you have a bullet there that said the staff had the baseline EV knowledge. Did they have was there anyone there to identify it as a Bolt or an EV expert that they steered you to?
Unfortunately, I didn't. We worked with 3 different people when I was helping my friend, and they all seemed to have, a fair amount of knowledge about EVs, but there were certain things that they were saying or not understanding when I asked questions about that kind of gave me a feeling that, oh, they're not really, experts or don't have a lot of personal experience with EVs. So I was a little disappointed with that, but um I don't know. It's just good to kind of be aware of going into a dealer that unfortunately they don't always have a lot of EV expertise, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. You always know when they say that electric vehicles have fewer oil changes.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That's your dead giveaway. They have
Yeah.
fewer changes.
Yeah. I mean, I could tell that they did have more EV knowledge than maybe like a Honda or Toyota dealership just because they've been in the field longer, but I just was a little disappointed, so I thought I'd mention that. Lawrence, did you have a question?
I just wanted to throw in, I know folks who have Bolt EVs that are eligible for the battery change, and they are putting off the battery change as long as possible so that they get the maximum use of the old battery, and then basically they have a brand new battery and increased range when they finally do get the battery swap. So
Yeah, interesting.
I don't think there's any limit on how long you can wait before you get your battery swapped. But knowing whether or not the car is eligible for battery swap rather than just for software modifications or other silliness is an important part of the picture.
Yeah, definitely. That's good to know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, my impression of the battery swap, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, was that with the Bolt, it was more of a safety issue with the battery as opposed to like the capacity.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, it was a recall on the batteries. There was kind of a fire issue with a very small percentage of them. And so my Bolt, the 2017, had the full battery replaced, and it's been great. It was totally free and was an amazing kind of amazing recall for me personally. But
And an upgrade from 57 kilowatt hours to 64 kilowatt hours.
yes.
And do you
That's
know
very
if you buy a used car that has not had the battery replaced yet, are you still eligible to replace that, or is it only for the original owner?
No, absolutely. It's a recall. It's a safety recall. It covers all vehicles. Doesn't matter if you're the first owner or not.
I guess
Well,
the
that's a good question. That's a great question.
That's the thing. I don't know if
Yeah.
dealers could sell
I
one
don't
if
think
it
they
still
could,
is under
yeah.
a safety recall.
Not a dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Private sale, yeah,
Private
but
sale,
a dealer.
yeah.
So I would assume they're all.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if that's true. I mean, I'm not sure if that's true for used vehicle dealers. I really don't know if it's true for a new vehicle dealer like Nevada Chevrolet. But I don't know if they're required to check the VIN numbers against like the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Because there are rules around that, but I'm not sure how they apply or if they even follow them. Because I don't know if they're enforced.
Well, enforcement's a different.
Yeah.
But certainly if it's a new vehicle on the lot and a recall comes out for it, there's absolutely a stop sale. Right. So
For safety.
for safety, yeah.
Of course,
Right. So I would assume
Sued pretty bad.
there's a liability issue.
Yeah.
I would assume NHTSA says no, if you're a licensed dealer, but I don't know. You're right.
Yeah, no, I have heard something like that before. That's interesting. I should try and look
So
into
my
that.
question is, how much does one of these new 20, or not new, but 2022 bolts cost?
Well, most of them are under the $25,000 limit so that they can qualify for the $4,000 federal credit because there are there's a few specific requirements for that $4,000 credit. It has to be 2 years or older of a vehicle, and it has to be under $25,000, and you have to meet an income requirement as the buyer. So pretty much all the Chevy dealerships know that, and so they've been pricing their used Bolts at like, 24,999 or something,
I think, I think, Ellen, that some of them, at least they bragged that there was prices down to like 14,000, but I'm not really sure.
I think that's the older ones though. I think that's a little bit older. Not, what is that? Is that right?
I'm not sure, but of course, be careful what they say and what they actually deliver, but.
Yeah.
Am I remembering right that the income limit is 70 or 75,000 a year?
Yes, I believe it's 75,000 a year as a single.
I just wanted to add for where I live, there's no way I could pay my rent on an income below that. But I guess I am in a more expensive area.
Yeah, sure.
It's not gross, is it? It's
Maggie.
I can't remember.
It's adjusted gross, I think. So if you do rent,
Brett?
Oh, Ellen, sorry because I missed the other slide. This question. Do you know, because I don't know how many Chevrolet dealers you called about the number of Bolts they had, but do you have a reason or any idea or guess why Novato Chevrolet had so many more than all the others?
I honestly have no idea, and it kind of shocked me because I called Healdsburg, Santa Rosa, Sonoma, Petaluma, Novato. I called 5. And most of them had between like 1 and 3 used Bolts on the lot. And then somehow Novato, I really have no idea. And I'd love to find out why, if anyone knows.
Yeah, I got my Chevy Volt up at McConnell Chevrolet in Healdsburg, and I had a good experience there. But it's clear that they serve the Healdsburg community, and they do a lot of vineyard trucks and things like that. So they wouldn't necessarily have huge inventory of commuter cars. So
Right.
I think that's why sometimes we see that like Hilltop is a good place to go for
Yeah.
Hyundais or something, and Novato Chevrolet, look at that commute from Novato to San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, so for this next slide, I think, John, do you want to take this
Sure.
on?
Well,
Okay.
Ellen and I like to check out new stations and go test them and just kind of have a little bit of fun that way. And we noticed on PlugShare that there was a station fairly near where we live, which is at the Safeway north of Steele and east of Mendocino. And here it is in a place in the parking lot that was not really well used. And they've got some pretty powerful EVgo chargers now. There are two stations that each have a individual plug CCS. They say 350 kilowatts, and they can be used to charge simultaneously. So it's not necessarily a sharing situation,
Wow.
which is pretty cool. They were just installed in June. They don't have CHAdeMO, just CCS. And they have quite a infrastructure there. You see all their transformers, and signage is really good. We love the big fat signing on the ground and signage on posts as well. We charged there just to have fun with it with Ellen's Bolt, and it worked fine. We got the typical 50 kilowatts that it allows, and there was an Ioniq 5 there, and I went over and snooped a little bit and talked with them. They're getting 172 kilowatts, which is pretty darn good. I don't know if the state of charge of the Ioniq could have been such that it wouldn't have taken any more, but we've seen with our own Ioniq, and we'll talk about that a little more, that up to 217 kilowatts going into that.
That's what I've seen.
Yeah.
On the EVC.
But so it's pretty good. Anyway, this is exciting. We have friends in the area who we've been helping to purchase used EVs that could come and charge here. Actually, people that do not have the ability to charge at home. So having it in a near residential, near business, in a mall, essentially, where you can get food and drinks and go to other amenities is pretty neat to see, and it's near the freeway. So
I've never seen the paint show the kilowatts like that.
yeah,
Right. It's pretty cool.
yeah,
And it was fun to note that they had a little sign on the fast charger that said funding provided by Bay Area Air Quality Management District. So I don't know, I just hadn't seen that before, and that was kind of neat to see that the district made it possible. Anyway.
This is about a mile off the freeway. So to your point, it is a neighborhood fast charger, which is
right.
Goes to what Ellen was saying earlier, that you can legitimately fast charge like your old, if you don't have that at your house.
Yeah, one of our friends is just half a mile away from here.
Yeah, right. No, that's
If you
cool.
come here and charge for half an hour or an hour a week, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, it's really good to see a fast charger on the east side of the freeway in Santa Rosa.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you say they had a fee, or are they free?
No, these are fee based. It's just interesting that EVgo does do, at least they post their time of use charging rate, and they also have a subscription thing for $12.99 a month or whatever. If you charge a lot, it could really benefit you, because you get down to something more like from, what was it, 65 down to 30 or something, 30 something.
Yeah, really significantly reduce it, and then there's no session fees if you have a subscription.
Yeah, they have a dollar session fee, right?
Henry, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Which?
30 cents a kilowatt is
It's
less
cheaper
than
than
what we pay at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you can go get a subscription to EVgo, and
my nighttime summer rate is in the high 30s, I think. Right now, I'll have to double check with.
yeah,
But it is in the morning, of course. It's a time of use thing. The least you can get is like before 8 a.m. or something like that. But who cares? They're early.
It's fun to.
Yeah.
That's another part of the what I want consumers to know.
Yeah.
In terms of
Yeah.
other places more developed in Europe. I mean,
you can charge anywhere.
Oh,
yeah.
They have a plan. It's like in Europe, there are thousands of plans and thousands of companies you work with, right? That all work with all the different chargers.
Right.
So you can buy. It's like phone plans, right?
Yeah.
You have thousands of options, and they have apps where I loaded one and it had like a list on the side of like had to be 50. Which plan do you have? Check this, and then we'll
Right.
find you the charger for you, kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? So
Yeah, and even on the app, the PlugShare app, even on that, EVgo has posted, when you look at the chargers, get more info on the charge station, it has the list of the time of use fees.
Yeah.
Right there, which in most places is just like one number and you have to guess, oh, well, I
Yeah.
guess that's what it is. But
Yeah, that could drive competition, like you're saying.
absolutely. Yeah.
And if you had, so my understanding is you pay a monthly rate and it drives down the cost, but you need to know that you're gonna
Yeah.
residentially just use it
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, you have to use it enough to make that work.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
My 3 does not CCA. It's I can do an upgrade, but it's I don't know, it's over $500 to do it.
I
But
can
can't
adapt
you
it.
do CCS to
Yeah, I have
to
that adapter.
NACS? You can do it.
No, my 3 needs a inverter update of some kind to talk CCS. Right, it's old enough. It doesn't. It's not going to.
Oh,
It's in the
Newer
shop.
models have it built in.
oh, I see.
I can pay money. No, I think it was $1,000 with the quote I had a couple of years ago.
I was thinking that the screaming deal is to get the car that charges at 250 kilowatts
Yeah.
or more, and then to live near that location and to pay the monthly rate and to
Yeah,
just,
especially depending
like
on
I
what's there.
said.
If there's a good, coffee place, I plug in for 20 minutes while I go get my latte.
Yeah, there's Pete's and Starbucks
Yeah.
in walking distance.
I said good.
Yeah.
Pizza's okay, but I said good coffee place.
That's right. Ellen, did we mention Pete's or we didn't mention Starbucks?
I moved you along.
Waiter,
So yeah,
anyway.
this is a trip. I think, Ellen, you were going to talk about our trip.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's the 5 right there.
yeah. So this is an Ionic 5. So
Yaxon.
Yeah, great burgers at Yaxon.
Oh my God, they're great.
Yeah. They're this high.
yes. So John, myself, and my mom, we took a trip up to Oregon. We went on a river rafting trip near Grants Pass, and my aunt very kindly loaned us her new 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 that she bought earlier this spring. The really cool thing about it is it has a native NACS port, the Tesla port, and it has an 800-volt battery pack. And so with the car came a CCS to NACS adapter as well as a J1772 to NACS adapter. And a $400 charge point credit came with the car purchase, which she also kindly let us use on our trip. So our goal was to try to charge only using that credit at charge point, which we were able to do. So we left Santa Rosa, and our first stop was in Dunsmuir, California, which was about 268 miles from our starting point. And this wasn't where we had planned to stop, but the stop prior to that, unfortunately, wasn't working. So we had to kind of go down to about 21 miles charge, which was definitely pushing it, but we did it. And like Dom was mentioning, we charged at Yaks on the 5, which was this super fun, very popular burger restaurant just off the freeway. And kind of a funky place, but delicious food, very fun atmosphere. Anyway, we charged in the parking lot for a little over an hour, and we got 69 kilowatt hours. It did cost us about $46, so a little pricey, but but worth it for us. Then we went up, our next stop was in Medford, where we spent the night, and so we charged there for much cheaper. It was only 40 cents a kilowatt hour for a fast charge, which was significantly less than the, 60 plus cents a kilowatt hour in California that we're used to seeing at fast chargers. So yeah, and the great thing about this is it really shortened our travel time compared to the Chevy Bolt. So we'd done the same trip in my Chevy Bolt a couple years prior, and it really reduced it down from maybe 10 hours down to 8 hours or something each way, simply because we didn't have to charge as long because it had the faster charging rate, and it had better range. So yeah. It was about, 820 miles round trip, and our total charge point costs for that trip were $103, but it was all using the charge point credit, so it was free to us essentially. Very gracious, graciously generous generously donated by my aunt's, charge point credit.
Ellen,
So
you must have charged for free somewhere because that's 12.5 cents a kilowatt hour right there. Did you guys charge for free somewhere? I mean, that's
no,
you did.
no, we didn't. We charged it home to 100% before we left. Then we charged in Dunsmuir, then Medford. Um, and then we actually charged in Medford again before we went home. Then we charged in Red Bluff, California. So we had 4 total charge stops on our trip, 2 north and 2 south.
Fantastic. So 21 miles left, huh?
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, we experienced some range anxiety. But it was basically, we went down to 50, didn't we? I think we were at like 50 miles when we were at the Bass Hole, the Bass Hole restaurant in Lakehead. Yeah, we'd seen other reports there that the CCS fast charger was working for other cars, but we did have the NACS native, so I was wondering if the adapter not was doing anything wrong, but I've heard that through Thunderstruck here that CCS is a very difficult communication technology to match. It's very sensitive to communication issues. I think it's a signal on power, so that the signal can actually be traveling on the DC power side. So there's some issues that can come with that, and very, very sensitive communication. Anyway,
so you can get noise rippled into the DC.
Maybe, but Ellen spent almost, like 45 minutes or at least on the phone with ChargePoint. And unfortunately, she had to be the lead on kind of making sure they understood what was going on and doing the, restarting the thing. But because they kept doubting that that the car wasn't causing the problem, or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's typical.
But we charged, and then we charged at a level 2 for 20 minutes just to make it up to Dunsmuir so that we could be happy. Anyway.
Yeah, and I did just want to mention a couple unique things about using the adapter, the CCS to NACS adapter, that were new to me. That the company Hyundai recommends first attaching the adapter to the plug on the fast charger and then connecting it to your car, and then doing the reverse. So removing the whole, adapter unit from the car, then disconnecting the adapter from the plug. And the interesting thing is there's no like latch for unplugging, like with a standard CCS, you'll click the button and you'll hear an unlatch and then you'll pull it out. So just like with the standard, Tesla NACS charger, you just remove the whole unit without clicking a button. Anyway, so that was kind of unique that I had to learn how to do.
It's really cool.
Yeah, but we really loved the car. Very spacious, lots of fun features, and just super comfortable for a long trip. So that was really, really nice.
There's 3 of these. There's the Ioniq 5, the EV6, and then Genesis has their own version. I forgot what it's called. But it's all the same car. It's just the Buick, the Chevy, and the Cadillac version of the 3 cars. But they're underneath the hood. They're all, the same, basically the same car.
Yeah.
But these cars are they're amazing. Especially that native NACS is just so cool.
So you didn't try it. I got a question that we have in our Teslas what we call full self-driving. I call it auto. They call it full self-driving. And do they have anything like that in an Ioniq?
Not that I know of. I don't know of any full self-driving. They do have like lane assist, where if you start veering out of a lane, it can kind of pull you back into the lane. And it has lots of alerts about like how far, cars are when they're passing. If you have your turn signal on, it'll beep at you if there's a car there. But no like self-driving that I know of.
Except the feature you really liked, Ellen, the front awareness. Right.
The traffic aware.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you have cruise control on, you can also set it to um, set a distance in front of you that it will start slowing if there's a car there, if that makes sense. So you can choose how far ahead of you you want the car
Yeah.
in front of you to remain, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like if you have it set to 65 miles an hour and a car pulls in front of you, it'll slow down automatically until so that that distance is maintained. And then if they pull out of the way, it'll go back to the 65 cruise control that you've set. So
That's
Right.
getting much more common in
Yeah.
every car. Right?
Yeah.
I have a
yeah.
I had a rental Hyundai gas, and it has
It has that.
Oh, really?
yeah. So it's not in all cars now, but it's definitely getting much more popular.
That's
All right.
yeah.
Moving on.
Okay, so I have one last topic I want to present on today. Um, So, another friend of ours recently wanted to buy a used Chevy Bolt from a relative of ours. And so it was going to be a private sale, but she wanted to get the $4,000 federal, used EV credit. And normally this is just not possible with a private sale. And so I actually reached out to this group, and Lawrence, you told me about Key Savvy, and then I also heard about Key Savvy from a Bolt owners Facebook group that I'm a part of and have, found really valuable during my time as a Bolt owner. And so essentially what Key Savvy is they're an escrow service and an online car dealership. And what's unique about them is that they really allow you to have a private party sale of a car, but still get the federal $4,000 credit because they're acting as the dealership, the car dealership, which is normally what's required in order to get that $4,000 credit. Um, anyway, so I was very excited to hear about this. Thank you, Lawrence. Um, and I checked it out. I didn't know anyone personally who had done it, so I really wanted to make sure it felt legitimate and safe, and I was able to do that. I was able to find a few people who had done it, and I talked to them, and I checked out reviews and really did kind of a deep dive into it before I recommended it to my friend and relative. But I felt really good about it, and so they went through this process and were successful. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about it with the group in case that's helpful for anyone. So essentially, what they did is both the buyer and seller set up online portals, and then they were able to link their account. So they were kind of designated as, I'm this person is going to buy the car from this person, and they were linked essentially. And then there was a lot of like uploading of documents and verifying information and, proving kind of validity essentially to both parties. And what I learned through this process is that essentially what happens is the seller is going to sell their car to Key Savvy, and then Key Savvy is going to sell the car to the buyer. So that's a very kind of oversimplification of it, but that helped me. Once I understood that, I kind of understood what was happening. And so, yes.
She'll get to it. Go ahead, Ellen.
Okay, sorry, I'll get to it, but yeah, questions are welcome. Essentially, the seller, one of the first steps is the seller mails the title to Key Savvy, and in addition, the buyer is going to send money to Key Savvy. However, they do that, either electronically or they might need to send a check. Um, but the buyer is going to pay and send, the amount of money, which is the asking price minus the $4,000. And so then Key Savvy gets that $4,000 from the federal government. And then once Key Savvy has the title and the money received, they then pay the seller the full asking price. I hope that kind of makes sense how I lay that out there. But essentially, from their experience, what they told me is the setup process took just about 1 to 2 days to do all the kind of portal steps, they said. And then it took about, I think it took them about 2 weeks average, depending on which part it was, but 1 to 3 weeks to send the title and the payment and then receive the title and payment back. So we can go to the next slide.
Question was, how much does the Key Savvy charge you?
There you go. Next slide.
Yes, good question. I'm coming to that right now. So, There is, yeah, the fees involved are $293 essentially to use their service. And that is a $99 seller fee. And then for the buyer, it's a $99 plus $95 buyer fee. And unfortunately, I learned in preparing these slides, I learned that that was just increased this past week. So it used to just be a $99 seller fee and a $99 buyer fee. But now they've added this $95 fee for the buyer if they're doing the EV tax credit, which I was a little sad to hear that, but they told me when I called them, they said it's just quite a process for them to handle the $4,000 credit with the government, and so they've
Oh,
had to up their fees, but that's understandable. Um, oh, but what I thought was a great way to handle this is that the buyer, our friend, she offered to pay the full fee. You know, she paid the $200. It was then $200. She offered to pay that full fee because she was receiving the benefit of the $4,000 credit, and the seller was essentially doing this as doing this extra process with KeySavvy as kind of like a gift to the buyer, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So yeah, another thing to note is that unlike a normal dealership, like, the Chevy dealership here, the buyer does need to handle all the registration and taxes with the DMV. And that's because KeySavvy operates in all 50 states. And so they're not able to, handle that in all 50 states. It's just too much for them to figure that out, I think, logistically. So they put that on the buyer, which I think is understandable. But it's just good to know going into this that you will, as the buyer, need to handle that yourself with the DMV.
How long does Key Savvy have the buyer's money before they move it to the seller?
Not very long. I believe as soon as they got the title and the title from the seller and the money from the buyer, I believe it was that same day, like within a few hours, that they transferred the money to
Wow.
my relative, the seller. So it was pretty quick, and I was really happy to hear that because I was, here I had recommended this service, and I was like, I really hope it works. I hope I hope it's not sketchy or anything, but it sounded very, very clean and efficient on Key Savvy's end, so I appreciated that.
So
Um,
how does transfer work? I mean, how you work that out with the other party?
yes, you mean like the physical transfer of the car? Yeah, I think, because it was two people that knew each other what I'm talking about, they handled that transfer themselves, separate from Key Savvy. But I do believe Key Savvy has a recommended process for how to handle that. Like they say, okay, now that we have the title and we've paid you, now you can hand over the keys at this point. But that's a good question. I don't really know because, yeah, my friend and relative handled that themselves, separate from Key Savvy.
Ellen, I think they work with some of the typical other places that kind of stockpile cars, and they also work with uh, transportation companies, I think, to actually
Oh,
physically transport the car. But of course, all that is paid for by,
More fees.
yeah, somebody, not them.
Yeah.
KeySavvy doesn't handle that.
yeah.
So what you're saying then, John, is, I mean, if I found somebody who wanted to buy my old Tesla,
Uh-huh.
and they lived in Utah or, some other place,
Mhm.
this
They-
could handle it.
They'd
Yes.
help you. You were also going to say something about the loans, right, Ellen?
Yeah, but it's true that I believe you can go across states. I don't think it matters which state you're in, but yeah, as far as I was going to mention about loans, that they do work with both. If the seller still has a loan on the car, they're happy to work with that in this process. And also if the buyer is taking out a loan to pay for the car, that's fine too. So it's just good to know that's available. And I just wanted to go over some, actual feedback from my relative and friend. They said that they had wonderful customer service every single time, and I experienced that too because I've called them a couple times myself. They would definitely recommend this to others. I asked them for their honest feedback, and this is what they said. They found it to be very trustworthy and valuable, a valuable service. but it does require you to do quite a bit of like uploading and of documents and computer online details. So that's just good to know to have some patience with the online process. But my relative said it's better than sitting at a dealer, all of this whole process. So I thought that's how I would feel too. Yeah.
Well,
So
you need to sit there so that you're ready to sign anything when they get to the, do you want to buy the extended warranty part of the conversation?
yeah.
That's
Oh,
all.
yeah. Brad, did you have a question?
Go after Brad.
Yeah, so I don't know anyone who's actually gone through the EV used vehicle, or what is it, used clean vehicle tax credit with Key Savvy. And they have had the used clean vehicle tax credit since January of 2023. So it's been the 2023 tax year, the 2024 tax year, and I guess it's going to be phased out in the 2025 tax year because of the new budget bill that passed. The reason I have a little bit of a concern, this, I guess, yeah, 2025 would be the first year that the IRS, even without the big budget bill, would have, a director and a president who is not super friendly to EVs. So in an example like Key Savvy, they're a licensed used vehicle dealer in Minnesota. I don't think they're licensed in California or any of the other 50 states. So there are rules like that, if the federal government, meaning the IRS, wanted to challenge that, it, it's kind of a gray area until a federal judge decides some of those things.
So where are you going, Brad?
There are fewer IRS agents to worry about.
That's exactly.
I say this, law enforcement can be very political.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just one of those things that
So I think what's clean about what Key Savvy is doing,
yeah,
they're buying it, they're selling it.
Yeah,
They own it for a fractional half a second.
Yeah.
They
sell it to
take
someone in
full
Minnesota,
title.
and they sell it to someone in California,
They sell it to somebody else.
Yeah, no, it's
So that's what's clean is that they're a broker who's buying it and they're a broker who's selling
Big
it.
enough business to have a lawyer.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
that part of it.
But what's your base concern?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't understand.
my concern is not so much for Key Savvy. They know what they're doing, I assume. It's for the individuals who expect to get a $4,000 tax credit at the end of the tax year.
Can I correct that misconception? So the $4,000 is a point of sale. Also, the $7,500 is also point of sale. So this happened immediately. Literally, my friend paid asking price minus $4,000 and minus tax, the fees or whatever. But literally, that's the check she mailed to them, if that makes sense.
Is fronting the
No, Key Savvy got the money
first before they release.
They get the money from federal government, $4,000 in hand, then they process the deal.
And
It's
so
the way all the
dealers do it
all
now
the
this
tax
way.
credits right now are point of sale. They get the money first.
Yeah, my understanding is that
Then they get the
dealers
credit, then they
float
release
that,
it.
Well, now that's not true.
right? They don't get the cash
Trump
immediately, they float it.
No, and well, after what? After
Well, that
September?
Trump thing's in effect now,
No.
but.
oh, okay.
That was just-
I don't know.
No, my understanding is dealers, Key Savvy might not, but dealers generally, that 7,500 point of sale, they float that. I mean, they do
Okay.
the paperwork, they check it all out, and
Close for a month.
you don't get the cash from the federal government the same day you buy the car.
No, they don't.
That makes sense. That makes
They're
sense.
taking the risk,
Yeah.
right?
And then also on your tax return, you need to fill out the proper
Yeah.
form to prove that you were worthy of that.
Yeah.
And then so there is a way for them to claw it back from
Yep.
you if you had too high of an income, for instance, and did not qualify.
Okay, we're
Yes,
gonna move
that's
on.
true. So my friend did need to qualify for all the fee, she needed to qualify income and she needed to qualify the car and et cetera. So once she was qualified, then she really was able to pay. Literally, she paid Key Savvy, asking price minus $4,000. And then the seller received the full asking price. So it really, I don't know. It seems like a very clean system to me, but and I did want to mention that on the Chevy Bolt EV owners group on Facebook, there is like numerous, dozens of people that have done this before that I was able to look through, over the years. And so I felt really good that they had you know, since it had been multiple years since then, they still felt like it was a good service and that it worked well for them. So anyway, just wanted to leave you with that.
Also wanted to mention so that people don't forget that you can also get $1,000 from PG&E still.
Yes.
It's evrebates.pge.com.
Oh, do
Right.
they still have that?
They still have it.
Yeah, that's right.
For used cars.
For used cars.
And it can be up to $4,000 depending on income. So that's really cool. But
Is there any way to get a PG&E rebate for a conversion if you take a gas-powered car, convert it to EV?
No.
Get a rebate? No.
I don't think so. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil.
So I found this online. Somebody named Sawyer Merrick, I'm not sure who that is, but you can click on the link and get the full text. I tried and I don't know if I summarized it well enough, but he went through and read the whole bill and tried to figure out what happened because we've been waiting to find it. We knew it was coming, but we didn't know what the finals were.
It kept changing.
It kept changing. A lot of the states that were, you know, when we looked at what Biden had done, we wondered why didn't any of the money go to California from an investment perspective? Well, it all went to red states to prevent this from happening. They did it anyway.
I think Merrick's the sales manager at EV West, isn't he?
Okay, I don't know who he is.
This is
Okay,
a history, I know.
okay.
EV.
But anyway, the 7,500 ends on September 30th, and so does the $4,000 used EV credit. Those both end in 2.5 months. The solar credit terminates at the end of December of 2025. I don't know why that didn't terminate sooner than like at the end of September as opposed to the end. I guess that's probably a tax filing year as opposed to a federal benefit year thing. The zero emission vehicle credits, which is basically how Tesla's been able to make profit in bad times.
In all times.
You know, yeah, it's been a way that they've made profit. They've been selling their carbon credits to everybody else. And those, according to this, there's more detail than the actual note, but those didn't go away. But the supporting legislation,
The enforcement.
the
fines went
enforcement,
away.
and then all the fines went away. So there's no benefit to this anymore. So, I mean, I'm surprised the Tesla stock has held up in the threes at this point. It seems like it should be in the ones or
It's not fundamentals. It hasn't been in.
yeah, that's right. It's overpriced by what, a factor of 50 or something. But anyway, all that is gone. And I think you know, as a person,
Is there a date on that one, or that's immediate?
I think that's immediate. Yeah. Well, this year, September 30th, when the thing, you know, when it becomes law. I guess it is law now.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah,
it's
because I
immediate.
thought some things were
Yeah.
immediate.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, do you want to ship the who's watching thing? Sorry, I can't watch Ellen.
Just keep staring at Ellen the whole time.
So anyway, there's no more system that creates demand for the credits. That's the fundamental problem.
Huh, wow.
And then it blows away home geothermal tax credits. There's a lot of sourcing restrictions on the battery manufacturing credit, and there was a link where Ford's battery manufacturing credit, they still get that credit going forward. I think they invested $3 billion of cattle technology, and so they get to keep that. Credit for commercial clean vehicles. The good news is there is a deduction for car interest loans. So this is that time where you can stack the Biden credits through September 30th and the deduction for the car loan interest we talked about. And for the next
For American made.
75, for the next 75 days or whatever it is, for American made cars, you can stack the credits. So what are American made cars? I have no idea.
Maybe the
I think
Hyundai.
it's
They have to be assembled in the US.
it has to only be assembled, but Biden had a lot of.
In Mexico, but
Yeah.
maybe the Hyundais, because the Hyundais are coming out of South Carolina.
In my year, they were not, but the new ones might be.
Then it's might be.
Teslas, I
Yeah.
don't know if the
Tesla's
batteries.
Not the Chevy.
It's very American made.
Yep.
Yeah,
No Chevy Equinox or anything, or are
you have to look at,
Those are made in Michigan,
yeah, you have to
Oh,
look,
but you can look at it.
you gotta look at every car.
Yeah.
I know that when I bought my EV6,
Mexico, you know, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry?
assembly.
The-
Just the assembly.
they? What's the
It's stuck
stacking
in
thing? I don't
automotive.
understand how you stack the credits.
So you get the $7,500 on the barrelhead, the point of sale,
Before September, end of
right?
September.
And then you get the deductible interest if you take out a loan,
Oh, I see.
right? So the interest, so like we talked about earlier, interest on credit cards and car loans, that all went away sometime in
Yeah.
Reagan and Bush, I think,
But it
or maybe
doesn't-
Clinton.
Yeah, but it's still, because the interest is just money you'd pay anyway, it doesn't necessarily pay you to do it just to get the interest deduction.
Right.
You might as
No,
well
it
pay
makes
in
it-
cash if
It
you
just
can.
makes it
That's
more
all.
affordable.
It makes
Yeah,
it more
right.
affordable.
If you're
Yeah.
financing.
Yeah, if you're financing.
Right,
Yeah.
right. If you are. fine.
If you're financing.
And you itemize. And
Well, you don't have time,
to get
because
the-
it's on top of your standard deduction.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's different, but the point is, if you could buy it in cash, then why not?
Oh, yeah.
And then a lot of the incentives for, so that, I mean, we always focus on the incentives for the consumer
Mhm.
at our level,
yeah.
Mhm.
but the investments were for manufacturers were incentivized as well.
Mm.
And that's kind of the big deal, because those incentives paid for, if you read Ford's annual report, their E portion of their business, I think Ford lost $3 or $4 billion last year on the EV business, right?
Mhm.
And so these companies are investing to get into EVs, and they were counting on another 12 years of incentives
So you're saying that's
to
been,
make that
that's
transition.
been,
And it's all phasing down.
canceled.
Yeah, it's all been phasing down, and a lot of the drill baby drill side of the Republican Party were focused on ending that now, but all the manufacturing senators and congressmen particularly in South Carolina and in Ohio, they said, hold on a second, we'll slow them down. We can't cancel them now. These guys just made these billion-dollar bets on manufacturing capacity. So that's what's,
But
we need to think
but
about.
is it true in all automotive or only in the electric automotive? It says advanced. Advanced, is that in time base or advanced meaning new technology?
I would say it's new technology. That particular comment is on wind power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's all of it. It's solar, wind, geothermal. It's all the low carbon, zero carbon sources.
Yeah.
I mean, even this one that's been going back since, I don't even know when, but the tax credit for improving your house efficiency, that's going away.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
It's fine if you want to level the playing field, but then stop incentivizing corn, stop incentivizing oil, because those people get, they could, if you look, I think globally they get about, there's something like $1 trillion a year globally for incentives for carbon fuels.
Huge, yeah.
And then we get these massive incentives for growing corn to turn that into, is it ethanol or methanol? I forget which one it is.
Ethanol.
Makes you blind, that one.
I had to pay attention to the farmer's bill.
Yeah.
I've heard little bits and pieces about it, but I
Yeah.
just don't understand the whole subsidy program at all.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna give away money to people who've already got it.
Yeah, that's right.
Know that.
Well, so I don't know. Obviously, I don't like eliminating a lot of these tax incentives. I do kind of like a simple, not kind of, I hate the tax code. I used to work for a financial firm that mostly did wealth management. I was on the tax and accounting side. And to me, the federal tax code, not even talking about all 50 states, is so unnecessarily complicated with so many industry specific or different types of income specific rules that to me, that's insanely overcomplicated. Yeah, and
It's political. Everything's political.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I'm a libertarian.
If you lived in Denmark, you could go online and file your taxes, on the website in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, in a lot of European countries, the government actually prepares the tax return or
Yeah,
its
right.
residents and
Yeah.
citizens,
Yeah.
people with simple tax returns,
You review
then
it.
mails them to the citizens, and the citizens go, okay, then signs them and sends them back.
Yeah, if they like the numbers. they
Yeah,
can just-
basically, they just agree with
That's
what
right.
the government has already done.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we need to, it's 11:25, we've got a few other things to go. Okay, so, you remember, 2 years ago, I presented on this, that they were trying to build some manufacturing capacity in northern Santa Rosa by the airport.
Yeah.
And, there's been other reports that, there's been bottlenecks at the PG&E level. Well, PG&E's finally, here it is, 2 years later, 3 years later, from the first issue. They're planning to upgrade the Fulton, substation. I don't know what. From 60 megawatts to 73 and up to 90 megawatts by 2028. So a 50% improvement, which is just fantastic. I don't know where the Monroe substation is, but it's going to add 20 megawatts. And then there's another 12 to 13 megawatts by the end of the year or early 26 in Vacaville. And then I don't know if you guys have been watching, there's an Adobe Road substation. They're adding batteries down there at Adobe Road. So
Really? Is there?
this is where the PG&E dollars are going.
Do you know
At least
status of the battery program?
No, it was
Adobe
getting a
Road?
lot. It was getting a lot of pushback
getting
because
pushback from
Moss
residents.
Landing. Yeah, they're like, we don't want that fire here.
Yeah.
You know, Moss Landing didn't help.
If Moss Landing is big, better batteries, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like a different chemistry.
That's right. But the good news is PG&E recognized that, you know, let's see, responding 6 years late, whatever. And then they're going to install another big battery, 1.5 megawatt battery up in Redwood Valley. I don't actually know where that is. I think that's up near Ukiah.
Oh, yeah.
But they're using
Next to Potter Valley, yeah.
they're using a new technology. It's an iron air technology.
All right.
I don't know what I don't know what that is, but I guess it just rusts and derusts and
Yeah,
rusts and derusts.
that's what it is.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Forget the name. There's one company doing it. I think they've got a couple small scale ones installed, running commercially already.
Okay.
I think they've only been deploying for a little while, but
Built in West Virginia.
It sure is interesting to me to see that much acreage, and without apparent solar panel coverage.
I think the back is solar panel.
The
The
back.
back is
Oh, over there. Why wouldn't they put it over the units? Just curious.
That is a good question.
Well, they burn when they catch on fire, John.
What's that?
The chat seat, man, for them to just check.
You would think it would cool it more.
but the other places, yeah, I don't see that either, right? The batteries are always off to the
It's
side.
probably
kind of thing.
cheaper, even the land costs.
Probably.
Or you can't get a crane in there to, pull out a battery
Yeah.
when it breaks down or something.
Well, are
Yeah.
those panels ground mounted?
Yeah, the ones behind it.
Okay, so it's probably a lot less expensive. I mean, maybe not a lot less, but it probably did factor in. If the land, if they've got an 8 acre
If they got the
parcel,
space.
they can fill the entire thing with 8 acres of stuff. But maybe they only have a grant for $30 million, meaning they've got more land, but, what do they call it?
cheaper to put the battery.
The constraint,
keep
the
it-
capacity constraint is not the land, it's the amount of money they have.
Two different contractors, they want to work
Well,
with each
that's
other.
it,
I'm putting panels in, you're putting boxes in, stay out of my turf.
If you put the panels off the ground, if you raise them off the ground, like in a parking lot, those structures, those
They
steel
could-
structures
they
cost money.
They could attach them to the batteries, those battery boxes could also.
Well, evidently they have solar there, so that's good.
Yeah.
I was just
I
curious.
just read an article about growing, you have a farm, you put those
Oh, yeah.
things over a farm and you just have to put them up 6 or 8 feet high and
Grow your watermelons.
and you grow all your,
Yeah.
vegetables and fruits is,
Underneath it.
well, I don't know about fruits, but
Yeah.
vegetables.
Mushrooms anyway.
So we got a request from the Lake County Planning Council. They're looking for some inputs on electric vehicle charging infrastructure. They're looking for, I asked them specifically, do they want people who live in Lake County? And they said, no, visitors are fine. So if you feel like there's lessons learned from Sonoma County and you want to participate in the survey, here's a couple QR codes. One is the survey response on the left, and the other is the if you want to attend the public workshop on the 24th of July. That's the right-hand QR code. Did you make that QR code, or was that something that they had, Cecilia?
That was from their flyer.
Okay.
I'll point out that they're also considering hydrogen infrastructure. And I also want to note that this is coming after we saw a bit of an increase in some of their level 2 chargers in the county, and also their first um, fast charger within the last year or two. So they're making progress.
Yeah. Cool. So if you want to participate, jump in. Okay. So let's see, we got about 30 minutes here. I think I can do this in 30 minutes, not too much trouble. But so I think I'm probably one of the few, except for John, one of the few pickup truck aficionados in the group. And um, I just want to kind of, I haven't really looked at the pickup truck market from an EV perspective in about 3 years. And when I bought my truck, it was all in the future. Well, the future is here now. And there's a ton that is happening in the pickup truck market. Kind of some of it's kind of surprising, but just for the use cases, this is me. Today I'm heading to the lake with my boat. Carry I have a lumber rack. I carry lumber. I carry the bikes, tow the RV around. So pickup trucks are great for moving stuff, moving your friends, moving your friends' stuff, going to the dump and moving your toys around, and then towing. And I'm selling that trailer. Bought the truck and the trailer about the same time. I checked my truck has a trailer odometer basically, so it knows what trailer is plugged in. I've towed that trailer 23,000 miles, which I didn't realize I pulled it that far. So that's about a third of the miles on the truck are towing.
Wow.
No, more than a third of my miles are towing miles. And
Just that trailer.
that trailer, no, I have another trailer, a boat trailer.
Yeah.
And then another trailer as well.
It doesn't measure each
So the
trailer.
third is all of those combined.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, of all the trailers. It's actually a little more than a third of all my trailers, which is a lot. And then mine is not configured like this, but a lot of folks, and you'll see them all mostly on the construction side, they use their trucks as their tool center, right? So they'll just load these vehicles down with tools and things like that. And so I think the thing that we gripe about in our community is using trucks as daily drivers, because trucks are heavy. And electric trucks are exceptionally heavy. They're 9,000 pounds, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they're loaded with batteries and they're exceptionally heavy. They have so much battery in there.
At present, they're exceptionally heavy, but they're not going to be in the future.
I think that's right. I don't have anything on that, Russ, but I think you're right. Batteries are getting lighter, right?
Well, the trucks are getting smaller. We're reverting to small trucks.
You think the market's going to go? Well, I have some data that says maybe not.
Well, I'm somebody, but I've been holding out for a mini pickup truck for years. I used to have a 2003 Ford Ranger.
Yep.
That was
Great.
perfect size.
Yep. So all of this conversation is all on full size trucks. Sorry, I don't have anything on the mid size or the small ones.
Nothing about the Slate?
Nothing about Slate. Because I was just thinking about the issues with. So when you think about pickup trucks, it's like what are the minimum requirements? One of the oldest one is a full sheet of plywood in the back of the truck. That has been like the standard. That's why truck beds for years have been 8 feet long. So you can get a full sheet of plywood in the back.
49-inch wide bed.
49-inch between the wheel wells.
Yeah.
Exactly. Those were like the minimums. That's all changed because of the way that truck manufacturers have approached that. They now go above the wheel wells, put a shelf thing, and now they fold the bed down and call that part of the truck line. Anyway, this is on full size trucks, but I will do one on the smaller ones. I didn't really look at that one. That's a whole other
Quick question for you. In hauling a boat, do you have any issues with backing down into the water and getting your rear axle down wet in terms of batteries or concerns?
didn't look at that. I personally would not be concerned about that. I think the batteries have to be sealed to IPC6 or whatever they are. I think you could take full immersion in the batteries. That would be my expectation. Yeah, that'd be my
Yeah,
expectation.
I've heard stories about people in there.
Unless it's a test.
Hummers,
Unless it's a
getting
test
stuck in
and
the
then
river and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, trying to go take where they took their gas powered Hummers
And they wouldn't do
their
it.
electric Hummers stuck in those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other question has to do with four-wheel drive. Does your truck have four-wheel drive on your truck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes the ramps are real slippery and you want four wheels so you don't slide backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Lake Sonoma's like that.
Yeah.
Howdy. So, one of the things that the reason that the manufacturers are interested in this space is because of the volumes. The F-150 has been, or the F-Series has been #1 selling passenger vehicle in the U.S. since the mid-70s. Honestly, it's 45 years. So it's a major amount of their business. And it's also a major amount of their profitability, right? These things are remarkably expensive.
Well, and I would add that, on the tax thing, there's import duties, tariffs, I don't know. They were always called import duties on trucks, but cars could come in, without. So, that they were protecting the truck industry, the light truck industry.
Oh, yes.
The government's been doing that for decades.
Decades. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. They really, I mean, the only one that's been able to make a beachhead in full-size trucks is Toyota, right? Nobody else has been able to jump across. But they're massive numbers. When you combine Chevy Silverado and the GMC Sierra, it's 873,000 units, in coming out of these plants per year.
Those are 2 million.
And that's, yeah, and then the Ram is half of those numbers. And Ram's been doing a good job coming up the market, but these are, what'd you say it was? 1.8 million, right? Something like that.
Almost 2.
Almost 2 million.
Just those top 3 lines.
Yeah. And I think somewhere
18, 17, 18.
Yeah. Somewhere right above Ram is where Model Y comes in. I think Model Y is somewhere around 400,000 a year or something like that.
Worldwide.
Oh, is that world?
I think so.
That was
they don't break it
number.
Do they? Oh, other people. Yeah,
I thought it was no. I thought it was domestic.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look on this,
if
you look under this LEBB,
US.
yeah, I think
This
this
is-
pop that up.
This is 2024.
2024. Yes.
Yes.
Does anyone have any? I'm surprised that Rivian is selling that many more trucks than Tesla,
Well, Tesla's,
That was.
but that's
launch year.
2024.
That's 2024.
So I don't know.
Tesla's going into the brink with their truck. I like the Tesla truck, but it's too expensive and they've sold, they just released new numbers for the last quarter. And I can't remember, but
Like
They
5 or
operate
10.
but they don't, but the X's and the Tesla truck all are combined and totaled less than 20,000 vehicles.
Less than 10 from the quarter.
For the quarter.
Right.
Yeah.
The estimate of just the truck is 5,000 last quarter.
You know, if
Yeah.
20,000
anyone's
year
right.
right.
if
So-
anyone's able to find like quarterly or monthly sales data for the electric trucks, that would be really interesting. Because I don't know, I don't know if the Rivian, the Lightning, or the Tesla, what they're doing on a monthly or quarterly basis.
I think that data
They
is
back
available.
into it on Clean Technica, and I think we
Yeah.
reported it before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It exists. It's just not super accurate because it's not coming straight from the
Yeah,
manufacturer.
Inside EVs does break out the Tesla ones, and they're the ones. And Clean Technica put it at about 5,000 a quarter for the Cybertruck worldwide, which is only US because they don't export it yet.
There's nobody else.
Canada get them.
Sorry, what?
Nobody else has Cybertrucks. There's US.
I think all of North America gets.
Oh, maybe Canada, but
Okay.
they're not shipping it anywhere yet. It's not legal in Europe yet, or ever,
Oh,
or maybe.
okay. I know when I went to Austin or to Dallas, I drove to Dallas with that trailer to go to the Eclipse. And when you come down Highway 263 from Amarillo down to Dallas, it's filled with Cybertrucks on truck beds
coming out of
our Austin plant. Anyway, the numbers are huge. And So the F series, that's all of the F series. That's not the Lightnings. Okay. There's not,
Yeah.
they're not making 765,000 Lightnings every year. Lightning is a much smaller number than all of their numbers.
Tesla size wise, is it as big as the top three physically? I mean, you put it in a full size truck category.
It's
different.
ish,
Ish.
yeah.
Which the Cybertruck is it physically as big as the? I know it's big.
Maybe short bed wide.
Yeah.
It's really wide.
But versus like the what's the smaller the Ford Maverick, right? That kind of
No, it's bigger than that.
It's bigger than
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Well, but it's just so
different. I mean, it doesn't, I don't know, I've never
It's about
seen
the
a
same size
Cybertruck.
as the Hummer, I think. Yeah, as in the Chevy and the Ford Lightning. I think it's about the same size. I
About the
think.
same.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
sure.
know,
Same lane.
I know, Dom, I know you need to go at 12.
Yeah, trying to get to the lake.
Yeah, you
With my
gotta get to the
future.
lake. He's gonna take a trip.
Has anyone ever seen a Cybertruck with, going down the road with the back, the I don't know, sliding thing open?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like an open bed,
yeah, it's an open bed.
carrying stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen it at Grab and Go, having somebody drop off a yard of stinky.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
with the
And that's
loader
why I
just
don't-
dumping it in.
That I think as a truck person, that's why the Cybertruck is such a weird thing. It's got a hard tonneau cover. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
No, I think
Anyway,
of the Cybertruck.
we better the fundamental challenge with trucks
Big promise of it was going to be this huge
is
front
that
for
is that the
putting all
range.
tools in. It turns out.
Hold on, folks, we gotta move forward.
Yeah, the biggest challenge on pickup truck, electric trucks, is that the range is bad. It's half of what we're used to in cars.
Mhm.
It's 2 miles per kilowatt hour.
Right.
And the GM, and I didn't include the Hummer. I just think the thing's ridiculous. So I don't even think about the Hummer. Consider, I don't know. It's like it's like a Corvette or something. I don't know. It's such a small niche thing, but
there is it. It's just a
but
little
the Chevy and the GM, PG&E is driving them. They're doing great in other fleet sales, but the batteries, a 210 kilowatt hours is 3 times the size of the battery in my EV6. Right. I mean, it's just holy crap. And so even at 350 kilowatt of charging, you still have a very long charge time to refill that beast. You're still at the station because you're not going to get 350. You guys all know the charging it's not straight. It does what it does. And if somebody else is on the circuit at the same time you are, it's half. So, and then the real one that is, and I should have made a graphic for this, but just the mechanics of charging while towing is very inconvenient if you're trying to do anything other than local towing, right? Because it's drop the trailer every time. Otherwise, you're that guy
Taking up 6 spaces.
taking up the parking lot.
Well, the entry, you could block the whole entry.
You could block the whole entry. Yeah. It's like, I always feel like that guy when I get gas on a road trip at Costco, when I have my trailer attached. Because now you're taking up 2 spots.
I've seen a couple of superchargers that have pull-through spots.
You have?
Yeah, there's one on I-5. It's a newer one I think it's south of Justine. It's somewhere over there.
Okay.
There's a hotel there.
Okay.
And they've got, a dozen regular spots, and they've got 1 or 2 on the end that are set up. You can just pull in with the trailer.
Luma's got
Okay.
drive-throughs.
They're drive-throughs, but they're too narrow. The way because they're the side pedestals, right? I would not want to try to tow a trailer into that, and then you don't have a lot of room to make the turn as you pull out.
Right.
Because it's 2 stalls front and
Yeah,
back, right? And you
Yeah.
have to drive through it with 2 stones on both sides.
Yeah, right.
You could
Yeah.
if you're brave.
Yeah. I mean, trailers are 8 feet wide, right? That's kind of the standard trailer is 8 feet.
So that's
So it's, trucks are,
little.
these full-size
Yeah.
vehicles are 6.5 feet. So you have to put, 9 inches in each
Over
side.
9, you got to get a special permit and have a trailer. So
Well, yeah.
White load sign, 9 feet's the max. And
So, I mean, kind of bottom line, this is a very I see why manufacturers are going here because they have to, because their market is so big, but it's really a difficult use case because they're so general purpose, right? One day you're doing this and you add this feature to it, all of a sudden it does something different. And when you tow, your 2 miles per kilowatt hour at best drops in half. Usually it's 30, usually it's a third when towing from an energy consumption perspective. So on my truck, I get 28 or so on the freeway. And when I tow, I drop down to 12. So whatever, somebody can do the math of that, but it's remarkably inefficient. Okay, so just kind of an overview. And you can't buy any of these vehicles. I took all of the numbers to their corner cases. Okay, so, but you can buy a GMC Sierra, 760 horsepower with 785 foot-pounds of torque. I don't know what you do with that. I mean, they're just
a very heavy trailer.
yeah. It's just
Race.
it's just a massive amount of everything. The batteries are huge, but the range with that big battery is still 460 miles. Charging is 350 with an AC of 19.2. I don't know if anybody's house is configured to put out 19.2 on a single circuit. Was that an 80 amp or 100 amp circuit or something?
Circuit.
It's a 100 amp circuit. Right?
D-rated to 8. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
that's a big circuit. That's a lot of juice to run through a breaker. I remember Bruce Knight showed me one time he had this 80 amp breaker. Yeah, it's a sub panel size, and he had this breaker, and he remember this? And he showed it to you. The prongs on the breaker had melted when he was charging his
whole house water heater is now around 160.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, right. That's like 3 breakers, I think.
Four
right?
breakers.
4
Yeah,
breakers.
yeah, 120. I got just a 3 breaker version, 120 amps, and
Wow.
works great. But
Yeah.
you do see the lights dim a little bit when the
Yeah, right.
turns on.
Big payloads and big towing though. Seating 5, starting price is 90 grand. The great thing is that these are vehicle to home, and I don't know why they did this, but they went with this four-wheel steer technology.
Oh, really?
So you can shorten the wheelbase. Yeah.
What does that do for, does that still work for trailer pulling, or does that disable for trailer?
I don't know how you would disable it.
It doesn't make it weird.
It seems like it would make it weird.
Makes it expensive.
It makes yeah.
Expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. But you still have all those weird mechanisms that I think would reduce the strength. They're still there. You just lock them out.
The back is it mechanical or is it
Yeah,
electrical?
well, yes, it's both, right?
Mechanical.
All right, so maybe maybe they can decouple it.
Decouple it
or something. Yeah.
In the 2 modes, one was when they're turning together in parallel for like parking, and the other is when they're going opposite
Obviously,
direction.
you get
for
tighter
short-
turn.
Yeah, right,
Yes.
right. And I think it does that automatically. I don't think you control that. I think it sorts
Wait,
it
this
out.
is how many motors does the Sierra have?
It has, I think
two or
it
three?
has up to 3
Up to
motors.
Okay, so some of that's being done with the motors, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Rivian just launched their quad motor,
Oh,
and they do a lot of fancy steering. They do something they call a kick turn, which is basically you can do almost a U-turn in place.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, like a
And-
skid steer almost.
Yeah, except you're not sliding, right?
Yeah, yeah,
right. But
yeah.
And they have some videos that people are using it a lot for off-road. Well,
Yeah,
they're pitching it
yeah,
for really steep dirt road kind of stuff.
yeah, that's cool. But yeah,
That made me think of an interesting question. Do more EVs have 2 motors, like one at each axle, or more have 4, like one at each wheel?
Or it's very
That rare? Oh,
it's
okay.
very expensive.
Oh, okay.
In volume, the most is 1.
Oh, okay. So it's not all-wheel drive.
Most just volume wise, yeah.
yeah.
And then all-wheel drive is typically 2.
Okay.
3 you get most brands when you want higher performance, more horsepower.
Or
Where would you put the third on a vehicle like this?
2 in the rear.
2 in the
Okay.
On this, 2 in the rear. Yeah.
Okay.
There's one on each wheel, actually.
yeah.
The Rivian has a quad motor, but
That's the one
It's-
they're
yeah.
pitching right now.
Okay, so then do vehicles,
We should go ahead because I know
Yeah.
Don's gonna have to go.
Yeah, so these things have there's hinges and fold down things in places that you've never considered before. My truck has this tailgate here. And when I first got the truck, I thought, that is the gimmick of all gimmicks. And I don't know if you've ever seen these ads, TV ads where the middle of the tailgate folds in half and allows you to walk up on it. It also allows you to load heavy materials in the back of the truck really easily. So if you're carrying, a lot of concrete on your, you're moving concrete from the home center in the back of the truck, it allows you to get the weight closer to the bed of the truck than onto the tailgate before you slide it. But it has this mid gate that also folds down like my old Avalanche did. And that's how they're getting these short beds to carry a sheet of plywood now, is that mid gate will fold down. You can slide the plywood all the way back to the front seat.
So the mid gate is the cabinet, right? It's back wall
You
cabinet.
two beds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
okay. You pull down the seats.
of this folds down.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean, there's just hinges and seals everywhere.
No water.
It's really amazing. I never had any issues with water or anything on my Avalanche. Yeah, they did a great job with it. And I would take my truck to grab and grow, so I never really worried about it. And then the Silverado is a little bit cheaper.
When you pull that down,
Yep.
is there something behind the front seats that closes the cabin, or you're totally exposed to that?
No, you're totally open.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're totally open.
So don't use it in the rain.
Don't use it in the rain.
If you put a yard of dirt in there, just hit the brakes, it might all end up on the.
Well, you don't put a yard of dirt in there with the mid gate down, right?
Right.
I mean, that's just
Yeah.
That's just the first test. That's a fog and mirror question right there, isn't it? But my truck, my Avalanche had right here had grates on it or a grid, so you could actually roll into the bed with like a quad runner or something like that. So it was already wired for. The Silverado is the cheaper one of the two. They've got a base Silverado at 73, and when I talked to, remember Scott McDaniels that we met at Platinum a year and a half ago? He said that he bought a whole bunch of these lower cost Silverados. They're 73 grand. And like I said, these are all the edges of the use case. Still have the same motor and basically everything else as the GMC. The Lightning was the first on the market, and they really have not changed the Lightning. I think Ford is trying to figure out their strategy for Lightning. I think they're talking about more reconfiguring the way they do the hybrids. They did not take any of the Lightning technology into the Maverick or into the Ranger. And I think, the Maverick really blew everybody away. I think the Maverick does about 100,000 units a year. So it's really a great seller.
It's a hybrid, or?
I think they have a hybrid. Yeah, the Maverick will do, I think, 43 miles per gallon. But they don't have an electric Maverick right now. They did not go through the crazy big batteries like GM did. I think that's a reasonable size battery for what this does. The range is lower. Ford, I think, across their product line still has these lower DC charging rates. They're not like the Kias and the Chevys with the 800-volt architectures. So, you're still looking at, when I've gone on road trips in my EV6 and I've talked to the Lightning owners, they're still charging at the relatively lower rates. There's still, I think, an 150 kilowatt charge rate, not the big numbers. And a lower price point, 63 grand, and it also has vehicle to home. If you remember when PG&E was here, this was the only vehicle that PG&E had certified as vehicle to grid.
Right.
Right. All the other people were talking about vehicle to home, not vehicle to grid. Right. That extra step. And then Rivian took an entirely different approach to the market. They focused this vehicle on the, I would say, the REI customer, if you will. But I think that would be the way that they approached it.
Adventure.
Yeah, adventure. And Rivian has built, if you go to some parks, like we were in Lassen, you'll see Rivian Chargers at trailheads. They will be, they're still level 2 chargers, but they have them everywhere now. They'll be branded Rivian. If you go for a hike, while you're hiking, you could charge at 30 miles an hour or something like that.
So what's the plug? Is it
What the
1772?
7072, yeah.
They're switching.
And they're switching.
The
Yeah.
26 model will have
Yeah.
the next
We'll have
few
what?
months. We'll have the next.
It'll be a
next
Tesla charger.
Or next.
Yeah,
native plug. Yeah.
Everybody will be NACS next
Eventually.
year. Yeah, by next year. And if you go on YouTube, a factory Rivian blows away almost everything I've seen in the mountains, in the dirt and on the rocks. Their ability to control torque on a tire by tire basis is unmatched. I mean, they can grab up. I mean, you've seen these CJ5s and things like that, with rolling 37-inch wheels, and they show you what kind of dynamics they could do with these cross-cut ravines through roads and stuff. Rivian walks up out of the factory and blows those dudes away. And they've spent thousands of dollars optimizing these things to crab walk over these
Probably
weird.
spent the price of a Rivian.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Rivian just crawls over it. It blows everybody away. Massive towing, big payload, a pretty good charge rate, and starting at 69.9. So
And I
Really
don't,
find them at 69.9. That you don't see them under 81.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Used even.
the way
Yeah.
they're.
The configuration, next thing, you're not gonna get that 420 miles at 69.
No, that's right. I put all the maximums. Yeah, I put all the maximums on here.
Yeah. Once you start adding options,
Get a straight
I
down one. Yeah.
spent a lot of time on that website.
On the Rivian website. Yeah.
And as soon as you add in a few things you like, it's like, oh damn.
Well, I'm waiting for their smaller car.
Yeah, R2.
R1. Yeah.
Trees.
Rivian has a really cool thing. Nobody else has.
Sort of hatchbacky kind of thing.
It's a question of what?
Yeah.
They've got a pass-through thing right there behind the rear
tunnel,
seat,
yeah.
the tunnel that nobody else has. It's a fantastic use of space. And if you like to camp, they sell a kitchen that goes in the tunnel.
A flat kitchen.
That's works out, right?
Yeah.
Kitchen goes in the where?
There's this tunnel that goes crosswise, like right behind the cabin,
Yeah.
underneath. It's under the bed,
Right here.
Right, because there's no transaxle, right? It's this tunnel,
So
right, and it's storage.
right here.
Right.
This
That's where they used to put the golf clubs in the
Yeah.
old business coops, you know.
But that's
right.
yeah. Now
They should
your
have
golf
business
clubs or
coops.
your skis or your
Golf clubs.
camp kitchen, it slides out and stands up. It's an electric kitchen, right? Because they have this battery power. Big massive electric kitchen.
It's the golf pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great.
What's your Rivian?
I was just looking actually, so I'm now shopping. You can schedule a test drive at Equator Coffee in wherever in Marin. Yeah, that's the nearest one I've found. But that one they only have the SUV.
I've been to the dealer in Pasadena.
Yeah, I mean you can go
There
down
are some
in the city, down the peninsula. There's multiple, but North Bay, the only one I found is they do a pop up at
If I
Equator.
deliver it to your house, you're gonna want it, you know.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, these once it's like, oh, need it. Goddamn.
Yeah.
I've got a neighbor that's got one.
I see a lot of them around here now.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen them.
Sebastopol. Or
I've heard nothing good things.
45 horsepower.
I bought
Yeah,
some
another-
stock, it's doing well.
Yeah, this one here, and Brad asked about
We're well financed.
can go down and there it is right there loaded with
Yeah.
fencing materials. I've not yet seen a roof rack for Tesla. I've seen some camper things, but I've not seen a roof rack for carrying lumber.
Is it like a 5 or 6 foot bed?
Yeah, somewhere in
I'm
there.
not sure it's
even 5.
Yeah, but it's
Definitely
tapered, the
not.
sidewalls are tapered on the bed. Um,
I think it has like a through to the front, because I saw one with lumber loaded at an angle in, and I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if it was
How
like
they did
8 foot lumber and it still stuck out. It looked awkward.
So I think what you're saying, Sonia, that this window here goes
Yep.
down.
Yeah.
There's a
Okay.
window there in the,
that's a little slit of a window and you can lower that, you can pass things through it. I used to carry stuff like that in my truck until I made the mistake of breaking the window doing it. That was a problem, but again, huge towing, big, not an oversized battery. So I think and the charge rate is good enough. I think you probably get some good range out of that on towing, 125 miles or so, and a starting price at about just under 80 grand. So, and then and then Ram. So Ram has this on their webpage, and everything about it is TBD because I think they were on the we're gonna wait. I think they were on the influencing the Trump administration to kill all the incentives.
Yeah.
They just
really?
their plan. Ram's plan was to wait, and it has been for years.
Do you think they'll go to plug-in hybrid?
Yes, yeah, I think they will. But all the big numbers were TBD, except for payload and towing, because they know those numbers are the selling numbers: big payload, big towing.
Wow.
But also vehicle to home. Right?
We don't know how we're going to make it work, but we're going to hit 14,000 tons.
That's right. That's right.
We have no clue how.
We have no clue, or what it's going to sell for. No clue. Yeah. And then, and then we have this.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, people know a little about it. Of course, Ellen and I, there is the DIY option for people. And we got this Toyota pickup for $600. It had a bad engine, and we converted it together in 2009. And it's been through several changes since then, including a recovery from an accident and 3 battery packs, and about to get its 4th.
So you had lead acid for how many of those?
Oh, I don't know. We had how many years? You mean?
No, the battery packs.
The one lead acid pack.
The first pack was lead acid.
Right.
You've been
20-mile range, then 60-mile range, and now 100-mile range. So
all right.
anyway, we don't need to spend a lot on it.
All right.
But why are you gonna go to the Mercedes EQS?
Oh, you guys are.
The pack in it now is from 2008, and it's so bad that at just under half capacity, when I try to get on the freeway, like right now, that's why I'm charging it outside. I can't go freeway speeds because the battery has so much internal resistance. They call it. It's a sign of a pack that it's at its end of life.
You can't get enough.
Yeah.
You can't get enough juice out of it
Only when it's fully charged. So
Redwood materials for you, huh?
Yeah,
See you in Nevada.
but it also it's these packs these modules behind you, Tom. Those are the EQS modules. If I can put 6 of those in there, that's one more than is on that table. They'll all fit into the back box. Nothing in the trunk, in the front. So, and it's smaller and way less than what I have.
Wow.
And it will give me 50% more range. So it's like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
What year are those Mercedes EQS packs?
I don't really know, but probably less than 5 years. Yeah.
That's what I'm going with too.
Yeah.
Projects I'm using. The last thing I'll say about trucks, truck batteries are the best deal on storage, flat out, across any industry. Imagine the amount of batteries that's in the GM. There's 210 kilowatt hours. That's 16 Tesla Powerwalls. 16 Tesla Powerwalls is 140 grand.
Wow.
So if you want to pull up to your house and plug in.
So you could buy the cheapest one of these big battery bastards.
That's a BBB.
That's right. And you'd have power for days and a free car at half the price of an equivalent Tesla Powerwall price. I mean, I don't know. I didn't do the math on what the battery prices, but it's
Also,
it's extremely cheap.
also because of that, because of the size means longevity at a given power draw,
Right.
right? So you could have 16 power walls or go through 16 power walls because you're charging them every day or whatever.
Right.
But with that one, if you only had it just for a power wall and it's sat in your yard,
Right.
it would last you forever.
Right. That's right.
Because it's such a big battery, it's not gonna.
Parking next to your house.
Right.
Yeah,
Have any
exactly.
charge
Yeah.
stations.
So they are all domestic ones are all vehicle to home at least.
Uh-huh.
Right. They're all vehicle to home at least.
What does it take to set up your home for a vehicle?
Well, what are the costs of those? 5 or 10 grand, something like that.
To have the automatic switching.
Yeah, to do the thing, and it's not vehicle to grid, right? So you're not trying to sell it back to the PG&E, but you are just taking care of yourself.
But it could be vehicle to business also.
It could be vehicle to business, yeah. I mean, it's just a whole different way to think about it. You could load your firebox in the truck, and if you were charged, yours is it's your built-in getaway car. Take your batteries with me.
So are they building trucks at a loss? Is that why this happens?
Yeah, absolutely. They're all building these, except for Tesla. I think everybody's building these vehicles at a loss right now. Tesla's figured it out,
Well, we were saying about the credits, right? Tesla's only profit really is from the carbon credit.
Yeah.
So they're building all their cars at a loss.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's right. And it's something
I don't know if that's still true. Because I know that was true. I've heard that. But I don't know if that's still is.
Their Q1 numbers.
Probably more true now.
And Q1 they had a depressed vehicle sales.
Yeah.
And their total, their only profit came from carbon credits. Without the credits, they would have been a loss.
So does $1 billion.
Does the bill take away the carbon credits?
Yes.
So what is Tesla think about that?
That's why they're talking about robots and robo-taxis, right? And that's why Optimus Prime is so important to them. Gives them some new shiny object to take away the clear and present danger of where they're at right now.
And that's why Uber stock's going through the roof now too, because everyone thinks they're going to notice competing with because they're going to be competing with the robo-taxis. Uber's going to get into robo-taxi stuff. Use your own personal vehicle. It's full self-driving. You can just, it'll go pick up your passengers, take them around, drop them, and then come back to the garage again. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Don, for all that.
Yeah, thank you, Dom. That was a great presentation.
Yay.
Well, thank you.
So be careful. Some of the others there.
So I'll take a look at the smalls, probably next 6 months or something.
Provide the service.
Yeah, well, that's
small pickup.
The small pickups, yeah, small mid-size, yes.
Forever.
Yeah.
They haven't.
Like, when you look at like a smaller truck and then vehicle to home.
Yeah. I think this is,
Yeah.
I think this is the use case right here, is the vehicle to home piece, because that gives so much battery, and most of us aren't driving more than 40 miles a day anyway.
But I got it
Really
right.
great. Really. Right.
Yeah.
The utilities would approve it. Really be a fantastic use case, right?
Yeah.
Because, the truck sitting, especially if I had 2 cars, right? The truck sits at home 90% of the time.
Yeah, right.
It's plugged in all day long.
Yeah.
It should be charging for my solar and selling it back to PG&E, right? With that size battery.
Yeah.
Right?
Shall we close?
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna end the meeting unless there's any last takeaway.
I've had.
I'm gonna tell a story, but if it's noon, I can save it for after the.
Sure.
Next month, do we have anything?
Next month is, okay, see everybody.
So if you want to share your thing, include it in the recording.
So I wanted to, earlier people were wondering about the Cybertruck having a roll door on its bed. My contribution is that both vastly increases aerodynamics and therefore range, I guess, on a vehicle, on a pickup truck, but also prevents things from getting stolen, which may not be an issue up there, but it's huge down here. So that would explain that. Earlier on, people were trying to come up with some kind of rationale for the big BS bill. And I wanted to throw in that the rationale is encourage fossil fuel corporations profit and not care an iota about the climate or the next generation or following generations. It's all about short-term profit for the incumbents. I don't think we have to look much beyond that to see the logic in what's in it. And the last thing I was wondering about the PG&E approved vehicle to grid truck, because sometime back I heard PG&E had partnered with one of the truck companies, and they actually were putting in equipment for vehicle to home that at some point they were hoping would also be vehicle to grid capable. This was like a year or two ago. I think we had them on in one of my meetings. But actually the length of their trial, I mean, it sounded like length of the trial was like a year or so, and that the capability to go vehicle grid might be introduced within the last couple months of that, or might not be. So it was really about vehicle to home and not vehicle to grid, even though they were selling the whole thing as vehicle to grid, which I think they really want to avoid for the most part. But so I'm very curious about them having approved a vehicle for vehicle to grid, and like to find out more about that. Because as I said earlier, all vehicles are capable, anything that can fast charge a vehicle to grid, but it's just the regulators are preventing us from doing it under the direction of both the governor and the investor-owned utilities.